First story. OP realized she didn't like motherhood after having 3 children, so she abandoned them and divorced her husband. FYI, I am using a throwaway account since my husband follows the main one. It has taken me more than I want to admit to be able to make this post. But I hope maybe some other parents who have been in a similar situation can use this to feel less alone. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful and smart children. After giving birth to my first child, I immediately regretted my decision. I realized I was not fit to be a mother and did not love my child as a mother should. My husband, a couple of years after the first, convinced me to have another. I was at first extremely hesitant and did not want other children, but I decided that maybe this was a way to fix things and give my other child a chance to have a sibling. That of course didn't work. My husband loves kids, and because we come from a culture that sees that the more children, the better, I gave in once again and had my third. I realized more children didn't really change that much for me. I was already a mother after my first, and my life was already ruined back then. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I am a bad mother. I am a great mother and fight to hide my depression every day. That is one of the reasons I went all out this Christmas. I had suddenly gotten a flash of energy that I decided I wanted to use this Christmas. My husband, loving my change in attitude and spending time with family, was all game for having a huge Christmas family party, which included our parents, our siblings, and all our children. There were a lot of people, and most slept in our house on Christmas Eve. There were a lot of presents under the tree because of that. On Christmas morning, I woke up earlier than the others to prepare breakfast, and I looked inside the living room and just screamed, completely breaking down in tears. All of the presents had been opened, the boxes were opened, and the presents were scattered everywhere. I completely lost it, and that woke up the others. When the children saw, they started crying too. They had all been so excited for the many presents this year. The adults were in shock. Well, if you wonder who the culprit was, we quickly figured out that it was my youngest. He literally went downstairs with one of his open presents. They have recently entered a super defiant and curious age, and I know I can't blame them, but God, I hate them for what they did. I'm sorry, but I do. My husband's parents started lecturing me on how I should have been raising my child to not even think about doing things like that. My parents started arguing with my husband's parents. My children were screaming and crying, asking me, "Mommy, will we not have presents?" and stuff like that. My youngest was just looking at the scene innocently. And though they didn't know it, it made me extremely mad. I just lost it. I walked out of the house with my purse and my pajamas and just drove away. I went to a hotel and just stayed there for a couple of days in shock, trying to process my feelings toward my children and just bawling my eyes out. I probably traumatized them. The whole time, my husband and family had been blowing up my phone and scolding me for just leaving. But if I hadn't left to cool down, I wouldn't know what I had done. I eventually went back home, and the children seemed fine. Apparently, my husband had just handed them their open presents, and that took their minds off things. The rest of the family helped create a somewhat Christmas-like atmosphere for all the children. I do feel bad for leaving. I feel like my kids are going to hate me for it when they grow up. My husband still resents me too. He said I failed as a mother, and that he never thought I would do something like that to the kids or him. Maybe I overreacted. I just don't know if something triggered inside of me. I don't think it was just because of the presents. This was about my whole motherhood. My family told me that someday I would be able to look back on this and laugh. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. I can't even look at my youngest right now. Relevant comments by OP. I agree that family therapy would be the best. My husband is just extremely against all the stuff about mental illness and family problems. He is very old school. But I will definitely talk about it with him again. In my culture, it is sadly very common for the mother to be the glue that holds it all together. Maybe if it had not been my party too, it would have been easier for me, but I don't know. It is not that often that our parents come over. But this year I really just wanted the big glossy family picture for some reason. It all just escalated. It was naive of me to think I could handle it. But I agree that as women, we are born in pain and carry the pain throughout our whole lives. We are born in pain, and we carry the family on our shoulders in pain too. It is a tough job to be a woman. He is very much not an emotional person, and I knew that. Our relationship has been very distorted since we had children. I know he loves me as the mother of his children, but sometimes I worry he doesn't love me, you know. He does tend to put the children before me, which I have no problem with. It is understandable. But sometimes I feel as if he puts the children first, even with small things like playing with them, instead of helping me with dinner, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit selfish, but I really just wish he would want to spend time with me sometimes. He is also very traditional. The wife takes care of the kids, cleans, and so on, which has really developed ever since we got kids. He is a great father though. Update. First of all, I want to say thank you to those who have commented with such nice things and helpful advice. With you guys, I have finally been able to see clearly. For some, it might be stupid that an internet site completely changes one's mind. But I have had no friends, no strangers, and certainly no family telling me any of the things I have been told in this group about me, my family, and the particular situation that occurred on Christmas morning. Honestly, it was a wake-up call. Looking back at my life, I have started to notice the wrongful way I've been treated more and more by my husband, his family, and sometimes even mine. It has been almost as if I have just become used to my role as a mother and wife, and therefore forgotten myself completely. I have forgotten my own needs and desires. And now I finally see just how unhappy I actually am. I'm not going to lie. This past week has been hell. I've been reading the comments and bawling my eyes out late into the night on a chair on the porch, while everyone was asleep. It was almost like catharsis in a way. I suggested going to family therapy to my husband, but he would hear none of it. He wouldn't put the kids in it, and claimed the only one who needed therapy was me. It was like talking to a wall, and when the argument got really heated, he did something that changed my view of him forever. It made me realize that I don't even know this man anymore, and that I needed to get the F out, even though he apologized profusely. I went to my parents' house again, bawling my eyes out, and told them everything that had happened. My mom cried with me, and my father had an aura of sadness around him, of course, as many dads do, having that stone-cold and strong face. I knew he was hurting though. I yelled at my parents for the way they had treated me on Christmas morning, not defending me and texting me guilt-tripping messages. Also about past similar situations, even about my childhood. They were quite shocked. I never yelled or reacted this way. And they were actually sorry, like, genuinely, they apologized. Then I dropped the next big bomb on them. I want a divorce. I am done. You guys were incredibly right. I would die, go insane, or something even worse in that environment, and I see that now. It's like I had a moment of clarity, and I had to act now not to fall back into the old ways. They were, of course, hesitant at first, but soon came to realize that it was for the best for, honestly, everyone. A lot was discussed at their house that is way too long and complicated to talk about here, so that's what I did. I went and filed for divorce. He was, of course, incredibly enraged as I was packing my things at the house with my parents. He kept telling me slurs and hurtful things the whole time, but I knew I had to stay strong. Now, a bit of information on the divorce. Firstly, his parents are rather wealthy. He can easily get amazing lawyers and legal advice, and so on. I knew going into this that I would probably not get anything out of the divorce, which was exactly how it went. The house, the cars, and the kids. He wanted it all. But I didn't care. I just want the divorce finalized. If that's his criteria for getting my life back, I'll take it. A long legal battle wouldn't be fair for the kids anyway, and I wouldn't even be able to take care of them if, for some reason, I actually won. I know they will be loved, cared for, and happy with their father, and that is the best I can give them right now. I will be able to see them once a month if I see fit though, and for me, that's perfect. I won't describe too much about how saying goodbye to the kids went. Of course, it was absolutely heartbreaking in many ways, but it is too late to look back now. We have explained to them together what's going to happen, how it is going to be, and so on. The divorce is still being finalized, so technically I am not completely free, but in spirit, I feel so freaking free. It is as if a weight on my shoulder has been lifted. Of course, I carry the guilt and sadness for my kids deep inside, but I keep telling myself that I did what was best for both them and me. I send them thoughts every day, and I plan on writing them a long letter each about my side of the story. I want them to understand that none of this is their fault. I currently live with my parents, and I feel a sense of sadness from them too. They will, of course, miss the big family and the kids, but I think they know they had to put me first this time. Of course, they do not agree with everything, but I never expected them to. Talking about my husband's family, on the other hand. My God, the guilt tripping. We know this isn't you. The messages were endless. I simply had to block them in the end. It was too much. When the divorce is finalized, we will let my siblings know as well. I have no idea how they are going to take it. My husband's siblings had just blocked me, which was honestly fine for me. I found out because I kind of imagined they would do something like that, and had to check after blocking his parents. I know some people may see me as a horrible mother in person, but for once, I choose to listen to my heart with a little push from some people online. Thank you to you all once again. I am at this moment looking at hotels in Spain, just waiting for the divorce to be finished. I am visiting an old friend over there that I haven't been allowed to visit in years. I had a little savings outside my marriage, enough to spend a week or two over there. Luckily, my workplace is owned by a friend who was super understanding, so they let me have a month off to figure out a place to live and have some time for myself. It is as if I am in a dream, and I'm scared of waking up suddenly. I feel like a new woman. I can't wait for the plane ride away from the country, and even if it is just for a while, it will feel as if I am living a truly new life. I wish you all luck and joy throughout your lives. Lots of love, Alice. Highly upvoted relevant comments. I am so happy to see this update from you. I read your initial post when you posted it, and my heart felt very heavy. Most people wouldn't have the strength to leave that kind of situation, either temporarily on Christmas or permanently like you are now. I wish you success and happiness. OMG, I'm so freaking proud of you. I remember reading your original post and being so mad that everyone acted like you were the only one who had done anything wrong. Though I'm sorry this ultimately ended with your whole world blowing up. I'm really happy for you that you're finally doing things for yourself. I really hope you take some time to yourself to work on yourself, get some therapy, and just enjoy being you. Honestly, good for you. Just good for you. Second story. OP's partner came out as asexual after 8 years in the relationship and physically assaulted their cat because OP refused to reconcile and got themselves arrested. Basically, the title. My spouse and I have been together for 8 years. Our asexual life has had lots of ups and downs. Sometimes it felt like it was fire and was really good. But there were long stretches where I felt like I was starving. While they never denied me when I initiated, the lack of initiation on their part has destroyed my self-esteem and left me so incredibly unfulfilled. I have so missed the feeling of being desired and having my partner seduce me. It was really hard for my spouse to come out. They were so nervous and scared. I effing hugged them and thanked them for telling me. I messed up and told them everything would be all right, but it won't be. I can't go the rest of my life with a partner who isn't sexually attracted to me. So I spoke with a lawyer. I'm so worried about my spouse. They are really dependent on me socially, emotionally, and financially. And I know that they love me. They love me more than anyone has ever loved me in my entire life. I wish love could be enough for me to be happy in a relationship. Tomorrow is really going to suck. Ida. Just to make things clear, an open relationship is not an option. I am strictly monogamous. I am not the type of person who is capable of having multiple partners. An open relationship isn't going to help me meet my needs that are currently missing in my relationship. What I need is for my spouse to be sexually attracted to me. And for those of you who have assumed the gender of myself and my spouse, the majority of you are wrong. Watch your assumptions. Relevant comments and additional information. They lives off. I'm sorry, OP. Hopefully it all works out and you can heal from this. OP. Thanks. I have a lot going on, including figuring out all the SHT I have to do with their cat, who got badly injured, figuring out what's going on with their charges, and hiring someone to fix the walls. But I know everything will eventually work out the way it needs to. I just have to keep swimming. Commentator. The fact that you were calling the cat their cat, knowing you two were married, really shows that there was never a partnership here. It was just you. Divorcing them is a blessing in disguise for them. OP. The cat is their cat because I am incredibly allergic to cats. I was never able to bond with the cat because, even with medication, being in actual contact with her makes me break out into hives. So I have had to keep my distance from her, and we never developed an owner-pet bond. My personal relationship with the cat is more of a friendly roommate thing. The cat also very clearly preferred my SDBX and was incredibly bonded with them. The cat also predates my relationship with my SDBX. Calling the cat their cat has absolutely zero meaning in regards to how I view my partnership, and is more of a reflection of my own relationship with the cat than anything else. I have always cared about the cat and have put her first in regards to family planning and budgeting. I effing gave up my favorite room in the house with a gorgeous bay window for the cat when they moved in, since I figured that cat would enjoy it. Not to mention that I also just dropped nearly $6,000 on the cat this week because I came home to her with a broken jaw. Money from the emergency fund that I was the sole contributor to. But go on and tell me again how referring to the cat as their cat means I never considered them a partner, even though I planned for and made concessions for said cat repeatedly over the last 8 years. Wings denied. I hate to be that person who cares more about a pet than the person in a situation. But man, that makes me sad and happy all at once that you helped it. Did you already pay the vet bill outright? You should know that you can surrender the animal to the clinic. It might be the best option, considering it doesn't sound like your ex is going to get out very soon, and considering your allergy. Are authorities aware of the cat's injuries? It might not be great to pile on animal cruelty charges, but they shouldn't get that animal back. Sorry about everything. OP. I did speak to the police about the cat. They thanked me for the information and asked for information about the vet I took her to. But I haven't heard anything else about it. I did already pay as I took her to the emergency vet and had to pay at the time of service. I didn't really think things through. I just saw that she was hurt and wanted to fix her. I know they are having trouble getting bail together, and I am not willing to do that after the way they damaged the house and dropped almost $6,000 on the cat. Obviously, the divorce is on hold for now. Per my attorney's advice, a conviction or jail time could impact what I am responsible for. I am very seriously considering rehoming the cat while my STBX is gone. I'm not sure what legal ramifications I will face due to that, or how it may affect the eventual divorce settlement. It really stinks because I don't know what happened. And the cat really is super bonded with my STBX. She is also a senior now, and I don't really know what the right thing to do is. But that's a future problem. Right now, I just have to focus on cleaning up the house and getting the cat to eat again. She has been refusing food post-surgery. Update. I have a not very happy update. I told my STBX that we needed to talk. We sat down, and pretty much as soon as I mentioned that I wanted to end the marriage due to our sexual incompatibility, they started to become incredibly emotional. First with crying and begging me to reconsider. Then, when I held fast to my choice, they became very angry with me. They started yelling and being belligerent. So I told them I was leaving, and they followed me out to my car and slammed their fist hard enough on the hood that they left a sizable dent. I actually never even got around to telling them I had already spoken with an attorney, or letting them have the preliminary draft of our divorce agreement. I went to stay in a hotel, and my STBX continued to try to text and call me. They left a few really nasty voicemails and a few begging and crying for us to keep working on our marriage before I blocked them to get some rest. The next morning, I came to realize that the police had been trying to contact me. It turns out that my STBX went on an absolute rampage through the house. Many of my personal items were destroyed. Holes punched and kicked into the walls. Some very sentimental items of mine are now damaged beyond repair. They even took my 80-year-old jade plant out back and put it on the grill. That had been my grandmother's plant. I'm devastated by that. Apparently, during the rampage, the neighbors called the cops with a noise complaint. When the officers showed up, there was an altercation, and my STBX ended up getting arrested. They are now facing charges for disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and assaulting a peace officer. The worst part, though, is that somehow, during the rampage arrest, or while left alone overnight, my STBX's cat got badly injured and needed to be taken to the emergency vet for surgery. She pulled through surgery okay, and is currently being boarded at her regular vet's office for post-op care, as I am unable to provide the level of care she needs. She should be okay, but I feel really bad for her. Her life is turned upside down. She is away from home, and the last memory she has of her favorite person was seeing them be a monster. I'm not sure what I am going to end up doing with her ultimately, but I am doing what I can to make her feel better. I knew my STBX would get emotional and cry and yell. I knew they would be argumentative about it. Those were a big part of why I wanted to have all my ducks in a row before speaking with them. I am super thankful to my therapist, who helped me role-play the talk. I had already packed a bag in my car and was able to stay calm and cool-headed enough to leave when I did. My ex still has not posted bail, and I absolutely refuse to do so. They've been calling me from lockup, begging me to, but also yelling at me. I have refused to take any of the calls. The preliminary divorce agreement, where I was attempting an amicable divorce with decent spousal support for them, is out the effing window now. My attorney is fairly confident that with the damages to the house, the cost of surgery for my STBX's cat, my STBX's violent and threatening behavior toward me, and our pre-existing prenup, the divorce will be very favorable to me. I guess my state doesn't stink as hard as I thought. My attorney has advised me to hold off on filing until we know the outcome of my STBX's criminal convictions, as that can also impact things. I have a hearing this week for a restraining order against my STBX. So if they somehow miraculously make bail, they at least can't come back here. And on a personal note, I have to throw this out into the universe and get it off my chest. To the person wearing the Batman shirt in Home Depot last Saturday, who chatted up the person wearing the TMNT shirt. Thank you. A very deep, sincere thank you. If you are reading this, I hope you see why I declined to exchange numbers with you. There is a lot of chaos in my life right now. But you were a glimmer of hope for me about what my future life could be like. Additional info. The cat is at her vet, recovering from her surgery. She had a broken and dislocated jaw. It required surgery to fix it. She should be all right. Unfortunately, I am actually fairly allergic to cats. I can handle living with her with lots of air filters, thorough daily cleaning, and allergy medications. But I can't pet her or be in close contact with her without breaking out into hives. I'm kind of in a pickle with her. She is 11 years old, and she has lived in my home for 8 of those years. On one hand, if she lives with me for the rest of her days, she at least gets to be in the home she has known and loved most of her life. But she won't get to be cuddled or petted much at all. I'm considering trying to rehome her after her recovery, but that is a lot of change for an elderly kitty, and I'm not sure what the best thing for her is. I'll consult with her vet when she is eating on her own and off meds and see what they think will be in her best interest. I honestly don't know much about cats in general. I could never have them, and due to the allergies, she and I have had more of a friendly roommate type of relationship than a pet owner one. Relevant comments. WonderKid0519. You don't think he hurt the cat, do you? Like, purposefully? OP. I don't believe they hurt the cat purposefully. They adopted the cat before we even met. It has been their cat for the past 11 years. They and the cat were closely bonded. They cuddled every day and had a close bond. I theorized that while they were rampaging through the house, they were throwing and kicking stuff at random, and the cat got caught in the crossfire. But I do not know for certain what happened. Naughty or Cinderella. A broken and dislocated jaw, unfortunately, may point to it being purposely done. Most cats are going to run and hide if someone starts telling them or throwing things around. I suspect the cat was kicked, but I really hope it's not true. Even if it wasn't on purpose, get a statement from the vet regarding the cat's injuries. That might actually help with your row and/or divorce. OP. I have. Both the attorney and the police have documentation concerning the cat's injuries. I don't know if they are pursuing charges in that regard, but it is at least documented. Why boogers taste pissy? Hi there. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I applaud your calm reaction. But seriously, I'm devastated about your grandmother's jade plant. And the effing cat. Please don't give details about the cat. I'll howl with rage. I am sending all my positive energy to that plant, that cat, and you of course. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I wish you a new lifetime of peace and happiness. Much love to you, that cat, and that jade plant. Big hugs. OP. Thank you so much. Can I give you one tiny detail about the cat? It's a fun one. She has eaten like a half-pound of goat cheese this past week. She loves it, and the vet is all about getting whatever calories they can into her. I actually love goat cheese too, but my sister hates it. I just wanted to share that because it brings a little smile to my face. Kelp42. Jade plants are succulents. If a single leaf makes it, there's a good possibility of getting it to root. OP. I found some broken branches in the house, and I have propped them up already. So my dear little jade will live on in some form. But it was a magnificent beast of a plant, and its former glory is sorely missed. Update. An 11-year-old kitty with a broken or dislocated jaw has a long vet visit ahead of her a couple weeks. I need ideas to make her more comfy, please. I had to take our family cat to the emergency vet last night. She had a dislocated and broken jaw that required surgery to have it fixed. She has come out of surgery just fine, and the emergency vet says she can be released from their hospital tomorrow. Unfortunately, she has some pretty intensive post-op care required that I'm not going to be able to handle on my own, so I have made arrangements with her regular vet to board her during her recovery. I'm looking for ideas and suggestions to make her a little more comfy during all of this. I figured I would bring her bed and a blanket, so she has something that smells like home. But she would absolutely love ideas. I've heard of pheromone collars that are supposed to help cats relax and stay calm. Are any of those good? I am also looking for recommendations for super palatable wet foods or liquid treats. She is going to be on a soft and liquid diet for a while. She can be really picky at the best of times, so I want to arm the staff with lots of options. And this is kind of weird, but do you think I should visit her during her recovery? She and I have a more roommate type of relationship. I'm actually really allergic to cats. I've been okay living with her by taking medication, doing thorough cleaning, using air filters, and respecting each other's space. But actual contact with her results in me getting incredibly itchy and breaking out in hives. So even though we've lived together for years, she and I are not super bonded. Her people will not be able to see her. I honestly don't know a lot about cats. I'm not sure if a familiar face would be a comfort or an annoyance. Thanks in advance. I just want this little girl to feel better. Update. Tastiest soft food or treat. Even if it is unhealthy garbage, I need to get Kitty to eat after surgery. Our cat had surgery on Wednesday morning for a broken and dislocated jaw. She made it through surgery, and the vet is optimistic. But we need to get her eating again. She has to have soft food for a few months. I'm looking for recommendations for anything soft that might get her going again. So far, the only thing she has willingly consumed is goat cheese. Vet is okay with this. It was actually a vet tech's idea. Thanks in advance. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.